Hello everyone, this is Said and welcome to AndrabCodes. Welcome to the another lecture of our complete Python course. In this lecture, we are going to discuss about for loop. We have already discussed about loops, that loops are used to execute a block of code continuously, and we have discussed about while loop. Now we will discuss about for loop. So before understanding for loop, we need to understand range function. What is this range function? So range function is the commonly used function in Python programming language that is used to generate a sequence of numbers. What? Sequence of numbers, that is 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, any sequence of numbers within a specified range. What? Within a specified range. It is most commonly used with for loops. In English terminology, if we actually try to understand the meaning of range means what? A specified sequence, whether it's of numbers, alphabets, or anything within a specified boundaries. So syntax is range, range, all the letters should be in the lowercase, then start, then stop, and then step. So what is it? Start means where the sequence starts. For example, whether your sequence starts from 1 or 3 or 4 or 5 or anything. Where from your sequence starts defines your starting point. That is the start. Now stop. Stop means where the sequence ends. So start means where the sequence begins and stop means where the sequence ends, right? And it will generate a sequence of numbers between this start and stop. So step means how much the number changes each time default is 1. We will try to understand it with an example. Say for example, I have created a function range 5. If you mention just a single number here, it means that you are trying to generate numbers within the range of 5. What? Within the range of 5. So you know what will it generate? It will generate 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Notice one thing, range 5 will generate numbers from 0 to 4 but not the 5 itself. So 5 will be excluded here. It will generate only 5 numbers starting from 0 and it will end at number 5, but 5 will not be printed here. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is really important that 5 will be excluded here. Only the numbers will be printed here, that is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Similarly for other situation, if there is any other number, the number itself will not be printed, it will be excluded. Next example, say for example range 2 and 7. So if you are defining two numbers here, it means that you are defining start and stop. Start will be 2 and stop will be 7. So you are trying to generate a sequence of numbers within the range of 2 and 7. Within the range of 2 and 7. So the numbers that will be generated includes 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. And 7 will not be printed here. 7 again will be excluded here. So the starting point will be included, that is 2, right? Starting point will be included, that is 2. But the ending point or the stopping point will not be printed. So that's why the generated numbers included 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Very important, remember that how this works. And if you somehow mention all the three things in your range function, that is start, that is stop and that is step, it means you are mentioning starting point, stopping point and step. Now what actually step is? See, if you notice in the above two cases, in this case and this case, the numbers are increasing by just 1, right? That is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. So numbers are increasing by just 1. That's why I said how much the number changes each time. Here the number changes each time by only 1. That is default is 1. Without mentioning the step, the generated sequence will change by what? By 1. How much the number changes each time? Here the number changes by 1. Here also the number changes by 1. Why? because we haven't mentioned the step. By default, if you do not mention the step in your range function, the numbers will change by 1. But here I am mentioning range 2 between the 2 and 10. So first 2 will be printed, 3 will not be printed because this time the step is 2. It means the number will be increasing by what? 2. So that's why 2, 4, and then again plus 2, that is 6, and again 8. Now 10 will not be printed here. Why? Because we already discussed that the stopping point will never get printed. That is why it stopped at 2, 4, 6, and 8. So step is nothing. It just defines how much the number changes each time. In this case, if you do not mention the step explicitly, the numbers are increasing by 1. But if you mention step 2, 4, or anything you want to print or anything you want, the numbers are here increasing based on your step. That is 2, 4, 6, 8. You can check the step here is 2 or the numbers are increasing by 2. So I hope you understand the range function clearly. Now moving on to our actual topic, that is for loop. So for loop is used to loop over a collection or range of items. We already know now what is collection or range of items. Range of items means a generated sequence within a particular boundaries. Right? So that is what range or collection of items is. So for loop is used to loop over that particular collection or that particular range or collection of items. Then we have syntax. Syntax for loop is for keyword, alphabets should be in lowercase, then variable, then in. In is an operator, right? And then iterable. This iterable describes the range of items or the collection of items. Remember, this iterable is what? Is your range. Then statement after the colon and the indentation. Try to understand this with a program. Say for example here I will write the for keyword, right? Now I will create any variable number. That's it. For, remember the syntax, for variable name and then in. And then in, that is in, right? After that, what I said, iterable means range. So mention any range here, range, and what was our first example in the range? That is 5, right? So I will mention 5 here. So what will be printed here? 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. We have already discussed that. So colon, enter, and then print what? Number. So try to understand the for loop. So I am saying I am creating a variable for number in what range? In this range. In this range. Print number. You know what actually happens here behind the screens? How many numbers are in the range? Right now it will generate 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Right? So I am saying for loop will loop around all those numbers. That is a collection or range of items, and for loop is used to loop around all those items. So first loop will be on 0 and it will print 0. Second loop will be on 1 and it will print 1. Third loop will be on 2 and it will print 2. Then 3 and then 4. So it will loop around this whole collection of items, this whole range of items one by one. Let's try to run the program and see. See what numbers are printed here? 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. That was our example, right? 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So as you can see, for loop is used to loop around a collection or range of items, right? If you make some changes here, and I will also mention the starting point here, that is 2 and 4, 2 and 5, 2 and 7. Our second example was 2 and 7, right? So what will happen now? It will print the numbers that are in between 2 and 7. 7 will not be printed. See, if we try to run the program, that is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7 will not be printed. just like our example. See, now the last one will be range. Notice the numbers printed here are changing by a single step, that is changing by a single number 1 2 3 4. If you add a step here 2 to 10 and then step 2, what happens? Numbers will be printed 2 4 6 8. This time the step is 2, that's why the numbers are changing by 2, just like our example, right? So this is how for loop actually works. It is used to check all the items in your collection and prints that by looping around all the things, by looping around all the items in your collection. Now for loop is not only used for numbers. Say for example, I will create a variable alphabet. In now I will create a string. I will write Python here. That's it. Then colon and print what? Alphabet. That's it. Now try to run the program. You know what happens? See, Python. All the letters are printed. It means it's looping around this collection, this string. It's looping around this string. This string includes 6 characters and it's looping around all the characters one by one. For loops are generally used when we explicitly know that how many times we actually want to run our loop. Because we mentioned the starting point, we mentioned the stopping point, we could mention the step also. So before running the program, we actually have the understanding that how many times the program should loop around. Now let's try to make a simple program using the for loop. Say for example, let's make a program for adding a collection of numbers using a for loop. Not two numbers, a collection of numbers. Say for example, I have to add a collection of numbers that is 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. I have to add this collection of numbers, that is those 5 numbers. If you calculate it explicitly, what will be the result? That is 9, 12, 13, 14 and 15. So let's make a program to add this collection of numbers. First, I will create a variable that is total sum. And I will place 0 in it because initially I am not using any for loop. So I am just creating a variable because initially sum is 0. Then I am creating a for loop and a variable, say for example number, right, in range. Now tell me what should be the range here. If I need to calculate numbers from 1 to 5, what should be the range? 1 to 5 or 6? It should be 6 because 6 will not be excluded in it and it will give me a sequence of letters from 1 to 5. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's what I want. And 6 will be excluded. Then colon and we will do what? Total sum equals to total sum plus number. That's it. After that, we will print total sum. Try to run the program. After that, we will try to understand it. See, the result is 15. So how actually this works? Let's begin with the first iteration. Let's decode it. Let's try to decode this line. That is total sum equals to total sum plus number. What I am doing here? I am looping around this statement, right? So in the first iteration, that will be total sum equals to what? The present total sum, that is 0, right? And plus number, the first number generated in the sequence, and the first number that is being generated by this range is 1, right? That will equals to 2, right? Now the second iteration will be what? Can someone tell me? Second iteration, the total sum will be here, that is 2. In the first iteration, total sum equals to 2. Now it starts from 2 and plus this. What is the number but in the second iteration? That is the second number in the range, that is 2. And that will be equals to 4. So new total sum is the 4. Now in the third iteration, the total sum will be what? 4 and the number and the third number in this range, that is 3. it will give you 7. And in the fourth iteration, total number will be 7 from the previous iteration, and the number generated in the sequence is 4. 4 plus 7, 11, right? And then the total sum will be 11, and the number will be what here? 5. That's it. And your result is 15. That's it. This is how your for loop works internally for the addition of this collection of numbers. Now, why the loop stops here? Can someone tell me? Because of this range. Range can include the numbers from 1 to 5, but not 6. That's why it stopped at 5, because I already said that this number will not be included in your range or in your collection. All the numbers included 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can understand this program like this. After that, after doing all this loop, the total sum is 15. So I am just printing this total sum. But when outside of the loop, because I do not want to print the total sum again and again and again, I want to print it one time. That is why it prints 15 here. I hope you understand the program. I hope you understand the concept of range function and for loop. So that's all for today. Thank you so much for being with me. See you in the next lecture.